Tonight, we together unlock prophecies buried for millennia, visions that map the soul's passage beyond the veil. What truths lurk in these forbidden verses? Are they mere superstition, or do they reveal an exacting architecture of judgment, rebirth, and transcendence? As we trace each symbol etched by long-dead seers, we'll peer into realms few dare to chart. In this journey, we will explore the ancient origins of Afterworld prophecy, from Egyptian funerary scrolls to Tibetan Bardo teachings, the philosophical underpinnings of duality, karma, and the soul's contract. Let this four-part structure guide us as we navigate the prophecy, gates of passage, judgment rites, rebirth codes, and the hidden transcendence cipher. More profound mysteries and paradoxes: free will versus fate, literal ceremony versus esoteric meaning. Practical rituals and meditations are essential for integrating these prophecies into your life, ensuring you are not overwhelmed by fear, but equipped with the knowledge to navigate the afterlife. Steady your breath and dim the lights. Together, we step into the whispers of the departed, decoding a secret roadmap to the world beyond, and perhaps discovering what awaits each of us after the final breath. Long before modern bookshelves and scholarly articles, cultures around the globe inscribed their visions of death's threshold into sacred texts, each page a portal to the unknown. In ancient Egypt, aristocrats placed Book of the Dead scrolls in their tombs, believing precise incantations and vignettes would guide them past the Hall of Two Truths. Under torchlight, priests meticulously painted the weighing of the heart scene, Anubis poised beside a cosmic scale, to ensure the soul's passage. These images weren't mere illustrations, but were blueprints for navigating the afterworld's architecture. Half a world away, Tibetan Lama scholars recorded the Bardo Thodol, the liberation through hearing in the intermediate state. In hushed monasteries, initiates learned to recite its layered prophecies aloud at a dying person's side, believing that hearing these directions would awaken consciousness in the hours between death and rebirth. The text describes radiant deities, terrifying wrath forms, and the luminous expanse beyond craving. A vivid map of transitional realms few living eyes had beheld. Even earlier, Sumerian priests chiseled underworld tablets into Basalt, carving out a six-tiered realm where the dead dwelt in shadowy courts beneath the earth. Each level imposed new trials, hunger, isolation, and judgment. These clay and stone tablets survived millennia, whispering of a world governed by strict rules and cosmic order. In Mesoamerica, Mayan astronomer priests aligned temples with Venus's cycles, embedding their celestial codices with afterlife prophecies. Glyph-packed pages foretold how ancestral spirits traveled along star roads, their fates linked to eclipse passages and planetary alignments. Life, death, and the heavens danced in intricate choreography, an eternal cosmic performance. Why has so much of this knowledge been buried? Two forces conspired. First, religious authorities, whether imperial priests or doctrinal zealots, branded afterworld texts as heretical or necromantic, condemning them to secret vaults. Second, political rulers recognized that controlling beliefs about death equated to maintaining the living, promising salvation, threatening damnation, and the populace bowing. Philosophically, these traditions share striking cores: the duality of body and soul, karma as moral physics, and rebirth as ongoing evolution. The Book of the Dead scales echo the Tibetan notion of moral clarity. At the same time, Mayan star roads mirror Sumerian underworld channels. Across continents, seers intuitively grasped that death is not an end but a transition, one governed by precise, teachable laws. As we delve into the prophecy's fourfold structure in the next section, remember that these are not isolated myths, but integral parts of a universal design, a shared understanding of what awaits us beyond the final breath. Imagine the soul arriving at a colossal archway carved of obsidian night. 3 gates stand before it, each guarded by silent sentinels, carved in celestial bas-relief. Gate of Remorse. As you approach, swirling glyphs emerge in the air, echoes of every regret you ever buried. A phantom choir softly intones your past mistakes, urging you to feel the weight of each choice. Only by fully acknowledging those shadows can you pass. Gate of Truth. Beyond remorse lies a mirror polished as still water. It doesn't reflect your face, but your actions laid bare. Kindness given and withheld, words spoken and unsaid. Here, honesty is your key. Those who evade the mirror's unflinching gaze find the gate immovable. Gate of Transcendence. An intertwining lotus and flame frame the final portal. You stand naked before no memory, no ego, ready to surrender the self. The third gate opens only by releasing attachment to the outcome, revealing the path ahead. Legend tells of Neferet, an Egyptian scribe who, at death, hesitated at the gate of transcendence. Haunted by a single act of cruelty, she found she could not let go. For 3 nights, she lingered in a twilight realm, neither alive nor dead, until a plea from her heart compelled actual release. The gate opened, and she was carried to the scales with newfound clarity. Having passed through the gates, the soul enters the Hall of Two Truths, where the scales of judgment await. Here, Anubis-like figures hold the balance. On one side, feathers of Mayat, symbolizing cosmic order. On the other, the weighted tokens of past deeds. Light deeds, feathers. Acts of generosity, compassion, and courage. Heavy tokens, spheres. Betrayal, greed, and malice. The prophecy records that the soul's fate hinges not on perfection, but on harmony. A slight imbalance, one heavy token more than a feather, can still tip the scales if the soul demonstrates genuine remorse and willingness to grow. Yet the book hints at an anomaly. In rare cases, souls with perfectly balanced scales hesitate before the fountain of renewal. Why? Passing the scales alone does not guarantee rebirth. It merely grants entry to the rebirth codes. Our next chapter. Visually, these rites unfold like a lost film reel. Gates carved in swirling constellations, mirrors that ripple like liquid starlight, and scales suspended between ancient pillars. The book's illuminations show swirling spirit energy, teal wisps around the gates, silver currents dancing over the scales, underscoring that these trials are as many inner journeys as metaphysical ones. We have seen how the gates sift every soul and how the scales weigh each life. But what happens after judgment? The book of the Afterworld hints at rebirth codes, complex formulas determining the soul's new beginning, and a hidden transcendence cipher that lies beyond ordinary prophecy. In our next segment, we'll decode these advanced prophecies, unraveling how spirits return, what court they face in celestial realms, and why a select few unlock ultimate liberation. Having witnessed the soul's passage through the gates of passage and the scales of judgment, we now turn to the prophecies that shape what comes next, the rebirth codes and the elusive transcendence cipher. These sections of the Book of the Afterworld guide each soul's return, or, for the rare few, its final liberation. The rebirth codes, crafting a new beginning. Beyond the Hall of Two Truths lies a chamber etched with interlocking sigils and celestial coordinates, the rebirth chamber. Here, the book's third prophecy reveals a matrix of runes and planetary alignments, determining a soul's next incarnation. Rune of lineage. Inscribed in copper red ink, this symbol anchors the soul to its ancestral thread and dictates the family, culture, or species the soul will re-enter. In one fragmentary verse, a dying priest sees the rune of lineage morph, ashes to stardust, signaling a cosmic rebirth beyond Earth. Rune of vocation. Drawn in indigo blue, this glyph shapes the soul's central purpose: healer, warrior, and artist. The book warns that misreading this rune leaves a soul adrift, reborn without direction. A Sumerian tablet describes a fallen king who woke reborn as a shepherd, fulfilling the rune's true calling. Rune of challenge. Rendered in emerald green, this symbol encodes the soul's subsequent life trials, tests calibrated to balance past missteps with growth opportunities. A medieval alchemist notes, claim he glimpsed his own rune of challenge in visions, a blazing labyrinth he must navigate in future lives to master courage. These three runes interlock like a celestial puzzle. The priest-scholar who deciphers them correctly earns a favorable rebirth, a life positioned at the nexus of lineage, purpose, and challenge. But if the runes are misaligned, through hubris or ignorance, the soul may wander the liminal spaces between lives, unable to anchor itself in new flesh. Buried at the book's end is a final prophecy scrawled in the invisible silver script, the Transcendence Cipher. Only those whose hearts remain unburdened by regret can perceive its lines. This cipher outlines the path to permanent release from the cycle of rebirth, a state the book calls Akur, the undying light. Cipher element: Alpha, a fractal spiral nested within a lotus, symbolizing infinite growth from a single seed of awareness. Cipher element: Beta, a mirror split by a flame, representing the union of reflections and transformation. Cipher element Gamma, a triangle pointing skyward, indicating the soul's final ascent beyond cosmic law. Legend holds that Neferet, the scribe who mastered the gates of passage, stumbled upon the first element's glow, but lacked the courage for the mirror's fire. To this day, few have glimpsed all three, and none have recorded their journey to Akur. Monastic whispers speak of a 7th century sage who vanished after chanting the complete cipher, leaving only scorched, emblematic pages behind. The rebirth codes promise structure and hope, yet they carry a paradox. A soul must simultaneously accept past limitations, rune of challenge, and embrace boundless potential, rune of lineage's cosmic hint. Likewise, the Transcendence Cipher beckons ultimate freedom. Still, it demands total surrender of ego, an act many cannot fathom until their final breath. Moreover, hidden beneath the visible prophecies are subtextual incantations, phrases woven into the margins that speak of soul contracts and cosmic debts. These marginalia suggest that the book's authors were under oath to keep Akur's path secret, lest immortality unbalance the living world. An obscure footnote in a 12th century Hermetic codex recounts the trial of 5 mystics who attempted the Transcendence Cipher in a subterranean chamber lit by phosphorescent fungus. Only 2 emerged, eyes luminous, voices echoing songs in lost languages, but both died within weeks, as if their bodies could not contain the cipher's light. Smudged with sweat and tears, their scrolls hint that Akur might demand a price even after liberation. We have now mapped the book's deepest prophecies: the gates, the scales, the rebirth runes, and the Transcendence Cipher. In our next and final section, we will translate these ancient blueprints into practical rituals and meditations, allowing you to embody the gates of passage, align your own rebirth codes, and, perhaps, touch the fringes of the Transcendence Cipher in your daily life. Prepare to turn prophecy into practice. The Book of the Afterworld is more than prophecy. It is an invitation to inner rites of passage. These 3 practices translate their ancient wisdom into a living ceremony, guiding you through remorse, clarity, and transcendence in your own life. 1. The 3 Gates Meditation. Purpose: internalize the gates of passage as a personal transformation journey. Sacred space: light 3 candles, arranged in a wide arc at dusk. Sit before them on a simple mat, heart aligned with the center flame. Gate of remorse, first candle. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Conjure a memory you've long avoided. Feel its emotional weight fully. No judgment, only feeling. Whisper, I acknowledge my shadow. Gate of truth, second candle. Shift focus to your actions. Visualize a mirror of still water in front of you. See your choices reflected without distortion. Speak, I honor my truth. Gate of transcendence, third candle. Imagine lotus petals and flame intertwining around you. Let go of attachment to outcomes. Release labels of good or bad. Intone, I surrender to what is. Integration. Sit silently for 5 minutes, watching the candle flames dance. Journal any insights or images that arise. Avoid rushing through emotions. Each gate demands full presence. Second Rebirth Code, alignment ritual. Purpose: activate your rune of lineage, vocation, and challenge to clarify your life purpose. Create your rune cards. On 3 index cards, hand draw each rune in colored ink. Copper red for lineage, indigo blue for vocation, and emerald green for challenge. Daily draw. Each morning, shuffle and draw 1 card. Spend 3 minutes holding it, eyes closed, imagining how rune's theme appears in your day. Action trigger. Set a simple intention tied to the rune. If you draw vocation, focus on one purposeful act: mentoring, creating art, or offering healing. If challenge, welcome a difficult conversation as growth. Evening reflection. Note in your journal how the rune guided your thoughts, emotions, or encounters. Avoid treating the cards as fortune-telling. They are prompts for conscious choice, not fate. Third Transcendence Contemplation Practice. Purpose: touch the edge of the Transcendence cipher, cultivating soul surrender. Preparatory breathwork. Lie comfortably, arms at your sides. Inhale for a count of 6. Hold 3 and exhale for 6. Repeat until your body softens. Silver script visualization. Close your eyes and picture the 3 cipher elements: fractal spiral, mirror flame, skyward triangle, etched in silver light before you. Inner invocation. Silently affirm each element in turn. Awaken infinite awareness. Merge reflection with transformation. Rise beyond form. Energy pulse. Raise your hands slowly above your head on the final invocation. Imagine a pulse of silver-white light streaming down into you, dissolving all barriers between self and source. Grounding closure. Gently fold your hands over your heart. Whisper, I carry this light into my life. Remain still until normal rhythm returns. Avoid overextending. If emotions urge, return to simple breath awareness until you feel stable. By weaving these cinematic ceremonies into your routine, you honor the book's ancient prophecies, stepping consciously through gates of transformation, aligning life's codes, and tastefully touching the edge of liberation. Tonight, we've navigated the silent corridors of the Book of the Afterworld, standing at the obsidian gates of passage, balancing on the scales of judgment, aligning our personal rebirth codes, and even brushing against the luminous edge of the Transcendence cipher. These ancient prophecies are far more than dusty relics. They are living blueprints for transformation, designed to guide every seeker through the ultimate journey. Remember the candlelit ritual that led you through remorse, truth, and surrender as you close your eyes tonight. Recall the rune cards that whispered your lineage, vocation, and challenge. Feel the silver-white pulse of the cipher, awakening within your core. These practices are invitations to live consciously, to carry the book's wisdoms into your daily choices, relationships, and creative pursuits. If you could ask one question of the world beyond, what would it be? Share your question in the comments below, and let our community's collective curiosity illuminate the mysteries ahead. If this voyage into the Afterworld's prophecies stirred something deep within, please like, subscribe, and ring the so you never miss our next exploration, where we unveil the hidden keys to soul liberation. Thank you for daring to step beyond the veil with me. May your path be guided by ancient voices, your heart lightened by released burdens, and your spirit forever open to the wonders beyond the final breath. Until next time, journey well, and keep an eye on the pages of the unseen book.